Hi everybody. I had a request for a new feature to put in my Stitch With Me, is that I show you where on the picture I am stitching, where on the pattern I'm working. So I'm going to put a screen up briefly and with the part outlined of where I'm working on the pattern. So let me know if you guys like it. All right, so just getting started here. So yeah, as you can see, I'm working on the pillars that are on the right-hand side, once again. And because of that, I'm once again stitching in more of a vertical direction because the colors go that way. So, yeah. Yeah, this part is going actually a little quicker. Last couple of days, I got like 700 stitches done in a day, so that was nice. I sure wish I could do that every day. That kind of pace. I would be done in no time flat. Yeah, when the colors are less complex. That's the way it is. So yeah, I had to do my back to school shopping for kiddo today. Wanted to get it done before everything's completely picked over. Here in Canada, we start in September, so we still have almost a month to go, so. All right, just gonna check the lengths of these. That's pretty long. This one I think is long too, yeah. Just happened to be that way, so I'm gonna end this one off. I really don't need two attached here anymore. Yeah. Everything is more expensive, and kiddo needed new shoes and clothes because he's grown a couple more inches, so yeah, my gosh. Yeah, so that's one nice thing when you're an adult, you know. You can buy clothes and just wear them until they wear out, because you're not going to get any bigger. Okay, so I chose to do 2 threads for this symbol here, just because of the way it happened to work out. So sometimes I split, even if it sort of connects into a bigger section of color, sometimes it gets split in sections. Depends on what I have attached, and if the colors sort of diverge the paths, I end up with 2 threads. So I think it happens that way on other parking techniques too, like if people are parking across or down. Yeah, when you have a lot of a color, you'll just sometimes end up with more than 1 thread, depending on how you do it. Some people don't. This is just how I do it. Okay, so now do all these in a row. But yeah, I was so annoyed with myself because we were going to buy all those things, and he needed more socks, and I didn't write it on the list because, of course, I thought, well, I'll remember that. That's one of the main things we need. Nope, I didn't remember. I didn't remember till we got home and I was doing laundry, and I went, oh, so, yeah, the feet are growing too, so. At least he's not as hard on socks as his dad. His dad wears through them really fast. I used to be the same when I was a kid. Shoes and any footwear I wore through very quickly, but not anymore, so. I don't know what I did differently. Ooh, my my goodness, pardon me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was wild. I had to go pick up a few groceries, and I wanted some pre-cut dipped vegetables. I wanted $13 for a little tray of, you know, cut up broccoli and cucumber stuff. I just thought, you know what, forget it. I'll peel and cut my own carrots. Holy mackerel. I mean, fortunately, we have wiggle room in the budget, but not everybody does. I feel bad for people who are already stretched to the max, and then this is just, ugh. This must be just killing them. Yeah, my neighbor was saying they're really happy they invested in a hybrid a few years ago, because yeah, at least they're saving some money on the gas there, because holy mackerel. Yeah, and unfortunately public transit around here just isn't a thing. It's either you walk, you drive, or you get a cab or whatever, so there are no buses. The only buses you have are like between major cities, right? And the Greyhound stopped running. There's some other companies, but yeah, that was like a Canadian institution. They quit running. I think the pandemic was what finally did them in. There are quite a few businesses, right, that were. I'm actually surprised to see that movie theaters are still around. I figured that would have been done for sure, because, you know, it was with being able to stream at home, the day stuff hits theaters and stuff. A lot of people are not bothering to go to the theater anymore. I mean, it's sure nice. You can sit in your own home, you know, in your pajamas. You don't have sticky floors. And you can pause the movie when you need to use the bathroom. Yeah. The last movie we saw in the theaters was the Avengers Endgame. And I did manage to make it through the whole thing without having to use the bathroom, but it wasn't comfortable at the end, so that was for sure. I said, but I'd made it all the way through Lord of the Rings Return of the King, and it was even longer. That one was over 3 hours, so I said I was determined to make it. But of course, that was also before having a kid, right? Yeah, body changes after that, so I go thirsty the whole movie, because if I bring anything to drink, then I know I'm gonna need to go, so. Pardon me, my gosh. Yeah, I got a bit of the allergies, so I apologize, my voice is kind of rough. It's not COVID, thankfully, the test says, but yeah, I was all stuffy, and I had to breathe through my mouth for part of the night, so throat is a little dry and sore today, so if I sound a little weird, that's why. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, this just sort of ends up becoming column style stitching because of the way the colors travel. Just sort of, yeah, pick some and continue carrying on downwards. Oh, that one's very fuzzy. I think we will have to, yeah, be more trouble to try and wrestle that through the eye of the needle than to just trim it. Start with a nice clean edge. it's nice. We're getting closer to the edge here. Then we'll have 2 passes left. So yeah, it is about 3 months to do a horizontal pass across this pattern. So that means I'd have about 6 months left, but the first pass is my normal 60 rows. The next one is only 50, so that may go a little faster then. Fewer stitches, so it might be only 5 months, we'll see. Like I said, no deadline. It'll get done when it gets done. Oh, my goodness. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, it's just wild with inflation. I remember when I was a kid, back to school, when they had their sales on school supplies, my mom would get packages of loose leaf paper for, you know, 25 cents a piece, and now they're $3.88. Like, yoy. Yeah, or I remembered, like, in when I was a kid at Halloween, my mom would always wait till she had to do a big grocery shop, because if you bought over a certain amount, they would let you have the pumpkins for 1 cent a pound. Yeah, nobody does that anymore. Not even 10 cents a pound, or even 25 cents a pound. Ugh. Yeah, unfortunately for us too, it's right when things start freezing. And so often they'll have the pumpkins outside, and if they freeze and then thaw and then freeze and then thaw, they're just mush. Yeah, you can't carve them. They'll just basically collapse. So it was fine when I lived in the lower mainland of BC or on Vancouver Island, because it's warmer there. So it didn't start to get below freezing until December or even January. But here, that's not the case. Of course, also where I live too, the jet stream, I guess, the Gulf Stream, they called it, it would kind of, because the way it hit the Rockies, the warm air would get sort of collected on that side of it, and that's the side we lived in. So yeah, it didn't get as cold. Now we live on the other side of the Rockies, so yeah, we don't get that warm Chinook air anymore. The sea air, I guess, was why it was a bit warmer. I don't know. I'm no meteorologist, so don't quote me on that. As I said, I'm kind of almost still stitching diagonally, just an extremely steep diagonal. Yeah, I started rewatching ER, and it's like, man, how technology's changed. They're using paper charts on clipboards, pagers. Yeah, still I enjoy it though. The human side of those stories is still poignant, you know? Yeah, I mean, just like, still, I loved MASH. And obviously, it's funny how some things have changed and some haven't. Like, I mean, the basics of IVs and stuff are still pretty much the same. I mean, now they have pumps instead of just gravity doing it, but yeah, it's still the same basic principles. Okay. Yeah, I said I'm sad now. We finished up Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and now there is nothing new until the fall. Although, being Canadian, I think we actually got it earlier than the US, which is rare. But yeah, we have the, it used to be called the Space Station. It's now called CTV Sci-Fi, because it was bought out by CTV, but they didn't really change the programming, and yeah, so we got it earlier. Yeah, CTV bought out a bunch of channels. It's now, they have Life Channel, Drama Channel, which used to be Bravo, and then the Space, they bought out, made it CTV Sci-Fi, so there was one more, but I can't, oh, the Comedy Network became CTV Comedy, so yeah. And when they bought it, I was all worried because I was, on what it used to be Bravo, I was in the midst of watching CSI. I was like, oh, I really hope they don't change the programming, and luckily they didn't, so I did get to finish the show. Okay, 2, 3. Yeah, it was funny, so watching ER again, I see George Clooney before his hair was gray. Alright, just gonna take a look here. Yeah, I'll probably end up with another thread of this color because there's sort of 2 separate paths for it, so. Oops, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna add another one, I think, oops. Let's see if I even have a shorter piece here. Nope, okay, that's fine. Okay, my gosh. Okay, just making sure I had both of those through the eye of the needle or it won't work very well. Okay, so that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so new color, 6, 4, 7. Okay. Yeah, the grid lines really help here because there's quite a lot of similar stuff. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, in fact, I wonder if the bottom part of this pattern is, looks like it will be less confetti than the top where the trees were. So it may even go faster as well. Because, yeah, kind of scanned through it. And there was more bigger blocks of color, so. We shall see. Yeah, I kind of want to make a new start, but at the same time, I want to finish what I started too. I don't like swapping out my all my threads for each project, and I work from sort of one master set and then pull the colors I need, and so swapping between would be quite a lot of work, especially if I have like colors in common between patterns as well, because I don't do multiple envelopes. So yeah, it just becomes easier to just stick to mostly one project, except for like I said, when I'm doing the background on something else that's only a few colors. And then that way, when I make that my main project, the boring parts are done, which is always nice. Yeah, after this project, I plan a smaller one. I think it's 55,000. So that'll probably only be 3 or 4 months project. So that'll be, yeah, maybe 6 months. I get about 10,000 stitches a month, I figured out. Of course, that varies depending on the complexity of the pattern and how much time I have to work on stitching. Because yeah, when we travel, I tend to take my knitting instead of my stitching. It's just, it's more portable. So then it, yeah, it sits there undone while we're away, so. Okay. Figuring out what I want to do and if I want to do an extra thread or not. I probably will. One up there, right? Yeah. I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, I wonder how many I'll get done this section, or this stitch with me session. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think this will just be long enough. Yeah, and then I'll add another thread, so that'll work out actually really nicely. So this one here in the corner, this one here in this next corner, and these two here in this corner. Seem to want to go in the right spot. There we go. Okay. Perfect. There. I could tell it didn't make that chink sound from hitting the needle minder, so I knew I hadn't put it back on the magnet there. Yeah, I was actually surprised my camera was sensitive enough to pick up that little sound of the needle hitting the magnet. It's not that loud. So yeah, picks it up pretty well. Let's see if I've got a short bit. Not really. Okay. I may go back up a bit. Yeah. I think so. To avoid having extra threads when I can work with. So back up here a bit where I was earlier in the session. See if I can get that to come out or not. There it is. Ooh. Or not. There we go. And the second one is here. Okay, so they're both not too short, so I'm just going to kind of juggle both of them rather than ending one off. That just happens sometimes. Like in this case, I wouldn't bother to add another thread to do this, but since there are two already here, that's just sort of what happens. I could end one off, or I can just sort of, yeah, like I said, juggle them a bit and do sort of part of it with one thread and part of it with another thread. If you find that too confusing, then yeah, you could just end it off. Okay, what I think I'll do is I'm going to park this down here. 1, 2, 3, and put it there. So I'm going to park it there. Then this one I'm going to carry on with a bit. Okay, 6, 4, 7 again. Yeah, we're coming near to the end of that color. Woo! Oh my gosh. Yeah, the one time you want a short little piece because there's only one stitch. Nope. There is not one. Oh well. Oh dear, look at that. There. Split the thread a bit. That's no good. Okay. Let's see if this is a longer one or not. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. All right, sort of back down again. Okay. Oh, I may have to go up a ways. We shall see. Yeah, what I'm gonna do, or if I'll just do a separate thread to keep on carrying downwards. Yeah. Doesn't go exactly vertical. The colors kind of spread across a bit, so that kind of interrupts my flow sometimes. Ugh. I mean, I could do bits out of order, I suppose, and keep with the downward direction. We'll just see. Yeah, I may just cut it off there, so that's what I think I'll do, rather than going all the way to the top again, because then I would kind of have to reset, pull all my needles off, and I really don't feel like doing that. Or I could go out of order, but I don't feel like doing that either. So that was just, oops, twisted. There we go. Yeah. So I'm gonna just kind of make an artificial line. So divide that square kind of in half, so 5 in is where I'm sort of going to make my stopping point. At least for now. We'll see. Or maybe not. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's going to kind of mess things up, isn't it? Okay, so actually I lied. So what I'm going to do is I am going to reset. Go back to the top and carry on down a bit more. So I'll probably go to about there for my cutoff and carry on that way. So sometimes following the colors just leads me on unexpected paths. There we go. Is that all of them? Yeah. Carefully detangle these first. They're not bad. Okay, so back up to the top. That's where I'm going. Yeah, so I think right at that grid line there will probably be a good stopping point. We shall see how it works out. Oh, look at that, I stopped at 99. Haha. I think that one's pretty long, yeah. Just need to be trimmed. Oh dear. Still not behaving. Yeah, saying I don't take my stitching with me because I need to be in a very specific position with the way my back and my neck and my arms are and everything. Or yeah, I get pain very easily. Things get out of alignment very easily if I'm not. Because of the, I highly suspect I got EDS, so just loose joints. So my mom has the same issue, so yeah. You have to be very careful what positions I'm in, especially for extended periods or things get all pulled out of alignment. If I put my feet up and my knees aren't supported, my knees start to hyperextend the wrong way. So yeah, unfortunately I can't do that. My joints kind of can't support themselves very well. So yeah, I discovered that when I was a kid too, doing wrapping Christmas presents. I couldn't do it on the floor. I have to do it on a table or a counter or something generally, because otherwise bending over so much, lower back really starts to hurt. And I thought everybody had it, you know. I didn't realize it wasn't until I said, yeah, the only thing I don't like about wrapping presents is the backache. And everyone, you know, so my friends looking at me like, what do you mean? And I was like, what, you don't get that? So yeah. Yeah, or it limits my exercise options. I have to be very careful. I can't lift weights more than, you know, a couple of pounds. I have to be careful because, again, with yoga, you can hyperextend very easily. So even walking can get uncomfortable. I find, especially my feet, even with arch support, the arches of my feet get quite sore if I walk for extended periods, so like more than a couple of kilometers. So yeah, unfortunately it's kind of limiting what I can do. And you know, someone say probably swimming would be an ideal exercise, which it probably would be, because you know the water supports you so your joints don't have to strain. And I know a lot of seniors really like water aerobics and stuff for that, but then I'm like, ugh, but I don't like getting chlorine, right? Yeah, being in pools, and then means I have to drive to the pool or the gym and do that, and I'm just like, you know what, I am too lazy for that. Ugh, I'm tired before I even get started just thinking about it. So yeah, I'm certainly not rich enough to have my own pool or to do the work to maintain it, you know. That's even ugh. So just holding that down. Oh, jeez. So it doesn't pull it out of place, and then I pulled my thread too far. Lost my loop. There we go. Yeah, I overextended my left knee in ballet when I was a kid. And now finally, about a year ago, I was walking up the stairs and was like, what is that weird popping noise every second step? So I figured out it was my left knee. He's like, oh, brother. And yeah, I thought maybe I'd injured it, but I hadn't. I guess it's just the hyperextension from when I was younger and age. It finally caught up with me. So I've just kind of gotten used to it. It's not going away. It hasn't gone away for months, so I think it's there to stay. Oh, yeah, and that ankle, I sprained it almost 10 years ago really bad. I stepped off the sidewalk. I didn't realize the curb ended, and my toe cut the ground and my whole foot rolled. And yeah, that ankle it's never been the same. Well, they said, how is it? Like, I was capable of growing an entire person in less than a year, but my body can't heal a freaking wrenched ankle, you know? Like, go figure. is not very long, so I'm gonna figure out where to park this where it's gonna take over, which I think is going to be right about here. Yeah. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm ending up going in the vertical again. So working my way down. Yeah, so again, I hope the AC is not too loud for you. It's a hotter day again. I might make some no-bake oat bars. 'Cause I like cookies, but I don't want to turn on my oven, so. Yeah, it's really yummy. It's like, you melt butter and brown sugar and put some oats in, a little bit of vanilla, then you press them into a, you know, a baking dish and just put it in the oven. And then the original recipe called for peanut butter and chocolate melted together, but my son is a huge mint fan, so instead I do peanut butter and mint. And I discovered I use like the mint flakes, because I tried by accident without realizing it. I tried using mint extract. Well, the problem is that has alcohol in it, and it does not work with the melted chocolate. It immediately seized. You couldn't spread it at all. I was like, okay, fail. So yeah, you would need mint oil, which I don't have. So I get the very small ground mint flakes, and I use that instead, just about a teaspoon. So then it's, yeah, oat with mint chocolate toppings, pretty good. And it doesn't heat up the place since doesn't have to be baked. If I remember, I'll put a link to that recipe. It's not mine, I found it online. So, yeah, I make it a lot in the summer. Yeah, especially since I'm not going to be buying pre-made desserts for a while because everything is very expensive. So, okay. Yeah, so cut off at that grid line looks good. That looks like that'll work out just right. And then the next section will probably be about 5 stitches, so halfway through the next block, and then we'll carry on down. But I'll see when I get there. I don't generally plan too far ahead. Otherwise, then I'm just wasting my time trying to figure out my moves like I'm playing a chess game or something. Yeah, my son was pretty shocked when I told him the high level, you know, grandmasters of chess have a time limit of an hour to make a move. He said, an hour? I said, well, yeah, because they sit there going through, if I make this move, he might make this, and they have to go through all these possibilities in their head, trying to figure out what the best move is. So, yeah. I said, yeah, my ADHD brain is just like, nope, that is way too much to try to hold in my head at once, which I'm not good at doing, and too boring. Yeah, I like faster games like cribbage or something. I was thinking maybe I should teach my son cribbage, see if he likes it. Me and my sister used to play it a lot. Of course, this was when we didn't have video games, right? So maybe he won't be interested because he's got a phone now. So yeah, he can play games or watch videos on his phone. We have to actually limit him a bit so that he does some other stuff too. Alrighty. Yeah, I think I'm glad I went back up to the top. It just worked out better this way. This is the one that I think is going to be, yeah, perfect. That's why I did that. These two and end off will be just right, and then we'll carry on with the other thread that's a little longer that I parked down below. I was wondering if I get to 150 in this hour, and it looks like I probably will. Okay. Yeah, it might be hot enough to go to the splash park today. That'll be nice. Although sun's getting a bit big for it, but yeah, this might be the last year he wants to do that. But yeah, we have a nice little splash park for the kids when it's hot enough. Then I hide in the shade so I don't burn. Yeah, even with sunscreen on, that happens easily. Yeah, I was really annoyed one year. We went out to a lake to go swimming, and I was putting on sunscreen all darn day, you know, 40 SPF, because that was the highest that was available back then. And every time I came out of the lake and dried off, I put more sunscreen on. And, you know, I let it sit and everything so that it would absorb and everything. And before I went back in the water again and did that whole body day, and I still burned. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, yeah, I even think about the sun and I burn. Oh. So yeah, I really have to avoid it as much as possible. Seek out the shade. And try not to miss any spots, because I always seem to do that. Pardon me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that will be the last I get out of this thread, I think. Yeah, I'll have to start another. Time to tie that off. Won't be able to get any more out of it. Oh dear. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think that might be all I get out of this one as well. I'll have to add a new one of this color. When I get to it, of course. Okay, well, I think we'll call it a day there then. So thanks for joining me today, and see you here another time. All right, bye.